All right, looks like we are live on Facebook. We are streaming there from Zoom tonight. Welcome everyone, wherever you are, for this Women's Health and Hormones class. So I'm Brandy Falcon, owner of Falcon Healing Arts, and thank you for joining me tonight. This is a pretty big subject, and I'm just going to be scratching the surface of some women's health issues, and then we're going to be matching up some doTERRA essential oils and products that will help support you with those issues. So a few things at first. If you are joining me on Zoom, no one can see you or hear you, so don't worry. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A, and I will answer them at the end of this portion. And if you have any questions on Facebook, go ahead and put those in the comments too, and we'll address it there. After we go through the women's health subject, I do want to stay on for about 10 to 15 minutes to talk about the doTERRA business, because more people are interested in that these days and may be afraid to ask. And I just think it's really important that I'm always sharing the opportunity in case someone is sincerely interested. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here for your page as I'm everything. Since this is my first time doing both Zoom and Facebook. Oh no, and it's saying my internet connection is unstable. Let's see how that goes. All right, we are set up here. So before we get into this, let me explain that this is actually a continuing education series class. My customers are plugged into this series, and we have 8 of them. And after you complete watching 8 of the series, then you get a free diffuser, an acknowledgement, and lots of cheers. Congratulations for becoming an oil expert. This, of course, helps you to use your essential oils at home and also really propels you on your wellness journey. But I am offering this class today to those of you who may not be customers already. And I didn't realize when I found these slides that this was actually part of the continuing ed class. So usually we're not going as in depth as this. So it may be a little longer today. And if it is over your head, don't worry. We are going to be doing a basic class next week that you can sign up for, participating again on Zoom or on Facebook, and you can always reach out to me personally and we can talk one-on-one instead. So, so customers who are watching this will count toward your continuing education is what I was going to say. So let's get right into it. Again, this is a pretty big subject, and we're going to start off by rating ourselves. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being completely out of control and you're needing to rest or medicate heavily, what are your symptoms of your women's health issues? So if you are still menstruating, how is your menstrual cycle? If you're in peri or post menopause, how is that going? Are you experiencing a lot of hot flashes, or are you not experiencing any, or somewhere in between? If you can rate that on a scale of 1 to 10, that'll be really helpful for you during this class. And there's, of course, many ways that an imbalance of hormones can show up. So it might be a thyroid condition. I've had to deal with that already. I'll speak a little bit about it in a moment. Many people have issues with adrenal fatigue in our culture. You may have difficulty losing weight. Again, that's something that I'm constantly trying to resolve. Mood swings, trouble sleeping. Infertility, of course, is a really obvious one if you're having issues with your hormones. Poor memory is related, and so is type 2 diabetes. And there are certainly others that are not on this list, so you can go ahead and write that down. It is helpful if you are taking notes. So let me move this. So when we talk about hormones, they're part of the endocrine system. So the endocrine system is what governs hormones and when and how they are secreted from certain glands in the body. They regulate development, so growth and development, metabolism, nutrient regulation, and basic overall homeostasis, which is the balance that your body needs to function, to live. So it could be as simple as regulating your temperature, heartbeat, breathing rate, those autonomic functions, but also with important things like ovulation and pregnancy. It is directing that. So again, the endocrine system is a system of glands that produce these hormones to these targeted tissues that need to work in a particular way. And the hormones travel through the blood system, just like essential oils do. So essential oils can penetrate into the bloodstream, whether you put them on the skin, they absorb very easily, or whether you take them internally, they will get into the bloodstream then as well. And you could see over here on the right that there are basic glands that both sexes have, such as the thyroid, pancreas, thymus, and pineal glands, pituitary, of course, and hypothalamus. These are all master glands. And then there's the sex glands and hormones that are related to them. So we're going to talk first about the basic things you can do to regulate the whole endocrine system, regardless of whether you're male or female, and then we'll get into women's health specifically. So nutrition is key to governing the endocrine system. And so you want to have a balance of macronutrients. The macronutrients are fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Typically, a high carbohydrate diet is not ideal because carbs break down into sugar, and we have a lot of issues that can come up around that I'll talk about. If you are having a lot of carbs in your diet, so this can be fruit, vegetables, grains. Of course, fruits and vegetables are very healthy for you as long as they're organic, free of pesticides. Best if it's seasonal that you're eating them. But if it's grains, you want to make sure that you're having whole grains as opposed to refined grains. And refined grains break down very easily into sugar, and that's when you get into trouble. And also with processed foods that break down very easily and you don't get any nutrition from them. So having more protein is ideal. I follow a woman, her name is Gabrielle Lyon, and she is a huge proponent of a higher protein diet because as we age, especially us women, there is a phenomenon called sarcopenia, which means muscle loss. So we get that as we age, particularly in the upper body. So to counter that, having at least 30 grams of protein is beneficial, or weight training. And you need to do one or the other or both in order to retain muscle mass, which is important for metabolism. And then, of course, we need so macronutrients and then good quality food. I already mentioned free of pesticides, organic if possible, to make sure that there are no toxins coming into the body. We need proper hydration so that we can eliminate properly. Hormones do build up in the body. We're going to be talking about an estrogen dominance in a moment, which can lead to disease. So maintaining good hydration for the body is going to help it flush continuously to make sure those excess hormones and any toxins that are in the bloodstream are shunted out of the body through our natural detox organs. The kidneys, the large intestine are the big ones. And then the skin, when we sweat, we're also detoxing and releasing. And then micronutrients are very important, and that's what we're going to focus on right now, because these are harder to control. With our soil right now, especially in the US, it is very depleted from our farming practices right now. Most of us are not getting the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that we need in order to function at our best. So the healthiest people tend to supplement. And so with doTERRA, we have what is called a lifelong vitality pack that is the alpha CRS. So this is an antioxidant blend. It has a lot of botanical extracts in it, like ginkgo. It has coenzyme 10, quercetin, several other well-known antioxidants. And so also turmeric. I'm looking at my notes now so I could tell you a bit more. I was like, oh, maybe that's it. But milk thistle, and it's just loaded with a lot of polyphenols. And these are really important to counter oxidative stress, which happens as we age and as we're exposed to toxins. Also, even to the sun, which is beneficial to us to a degree. But there is a lot of oxidative stress that we experience from simply the radiation of that. And these antioxidants also help with cellular energy and function. And then we have the EO Mega, which is an essential oil fatty acid blend. And that is key. So it has omega 3, 6, and 9s. These fatty acids are also antioxidants. And of course, the fat, I'm trying to speak quickly here because there are a lot of slides. The fat, of course, helps to lubricate your joints. So just add more moisture to the body, helps with the skin and nails and hair, adding moisture to those. And then it also helps the brain and the central nervous system, their function. So very important to have as an adult as well as for growing children. I think that's all I wanted to say about the fatty acids. And then the Microplex VMZ, this is the whole food multivitamin. So it has over 22 essential nutrients in it. And all of these blends have essential oils in them, so help with digestibility. These are all whole food based so that your body recognizes them easily and there's no issues with indigestion. So I think most of them have like ginger and fennel and caraway that are digestive enzymes or herbs. And the essential oils function just like the herbs. So LLV is key. And then we have care for the liver. So the liver is it's known for detoxing the body. It helps with, I mentioned before, the shunting. So it metabolizes toxins and drugs that we bring into the body. Really any chemicals, so hormones too. It needs to process them into a water-soluble form or a fat-soluble form. The water-soluble form goes out through your urine, fat-soluble through your bowels. And so it's a really, really important organ for the body since we are exposed to so much in our environment and through our diet. So it is key in hormone balance because we tend to build up estrogen. Again, we are going to get into this much deeper in a moment. So to support your liver, there are a few essential oils and supplements that you can use. The first is Zendocrine, and there's two different types of supplements. The detoxification complex is actually an herbal complex, so that has botanical extracts in it. And I don't have the bottle in front of me, but I know there is some overlap between this and the alpha CRS. that it has milk thistle in it. Hold on, I have a note here. So I'll look at the chat when we have the questions. Oops, let me go back. Oh no. Okay, I need to stop the share for a moment and go back in. Sorry about that. Okay, let me see if, okay, go back. There we go. Again, thank you for your patience. We are learning together as I go here. Okay, so I saw there is a question in the chat, and I'll get to that at the end here. So the detoxification complex, there are some ingredients in it that help move the bowels, which I appreciate. So as you're detoxing, it's also helping you move the bowels, so which is important. And then the detoxification blend soft gels, this is actually just the essential oils in a capsule that you can take internally. So you can just put the oil, because we do have a Zendocrine oil. You can just put that under the tongue, or take that in water, or even just put it on the body. But if you want to take it internally and don't like the taste, or it's just more convenient to use the soft gel. Lemon, you probably know if you're a doTERRA customer already. Lemon and other citrus oils help with peristalsis and moving the bowels. So again, aids the liver with that. Slim and Sassy has the same function. It does have, I don't think it has lemon. It might have lemon. I'm pretty sure it has grapefruit and another, several other essential oils that help with digestion, and they support the liver as well. So now the adrenals. This is a big problem in our go, go, go culture, that we tend to experience adrenal fatigue when we're not managing our stress properly. So you know you have adrenal fatigue if you wake up in the morning and have a hard time getting out of bed. If you feel like you need to nap regularly, it could go both ways. You could either be really tired, or you might feel that and your mind kind of overrides the body and you still trudge right through. Some people, when they feel that, they just drink more coffee, or have chocolate, which does not help the adrenals. So the problem is that the adrenals secrete cortisol. So cortisol is a stress hormone. It has function when we wake up in the morning. We need that surge to get us going. It helps us when we're giving a presentation or doing something that is really important to us. But we don't need to have this intensity with the way that we're living all the time. And after dinner is when we really want to be slowing down to digest, to stop all our activity and get into the routine of getting ready for bed. So when we override that, it confuses the body and it tends to secrete more cortisol. And then we have an issue where we have the second wind and then we can't get to sleep. This is a cortisol issue. And then when we have a cortisol issue and we have sleep issues, we could have weight gain and many other things on top of that. Just an imbalance of hormones in general when our circadian rhythm is disrupted like this. So there's a few oils I want to suggest for this. So magnolia has a lot of linalool in it, which is a relaxing chemical. Lavender is known for having a lot of linalool in it, but magnolia actually has 3 times as much. So if you don't have magnolia already, you may want to consider getting that. And then Mito 2 Max is a great supplement you may want to consider getting. I do actually have that one with me because I don't use this as often. I don't have an issue with waking up. Going to sleep I do sometimes, depending on what is happening during the day. So this has mitochondrial energy cofactors in it. So mitochondria is the organelle of the cells that is responsible for energy production, ATP production. So there's a few listed here. Coenzyme, that was my cat, coenzyme Q10 is one of them. And then there's circulation support with a few fruits, as well as quercetin, and then adaptogens. So cordyceps, which is actually a Chinese medicine herb. Many of you know that I'm an acupuncturist too. I'm not super strong in herbs. Acupuncture and Qigong, the energetics and dietetics are my stronger points. But I do use cordyceps. It's a really important adaptogen, and the function is what it sounds like, that it helps you adapt to your environment. It helps you calm down, especially when you are amped up. Ginseng and ashwagandha, which is pretty popular right now too if you take herbal supplements. So Mito 2 Max you would take in the morning, not at night, especially if you are a sensitive person. It will keep you up. If you don't have an imbalance, or if it's not a strong imbalance and you take it at night, it will keep you up. So other supportive essential oils that you can use are basil, lemongrass, ylang ylang, grapefruit, and bergamot. Okay, so that was for basic endocrine support. So again, males or females can use help with all of that. The LLV, the Magnolia Mito 2 Max, and help with liver detox with Zendocrine. So now let's get into the specifics of women's health. So you know, if you're a woman, you know your parts, I'm sure, that the reproductive system consists of the ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, external genitalia, that's the labia, and the breasts. And they all work together as a system. So the ovaries, you know, are super important because they secrete estrogen and progesterone that do a little dance during your menstrual cycle. I am not going to get into the details of that. Even with my background, it's still really hard for me to teach that. It is such a miraculous phenomenon in the human body. But estrogen, we know, is a regulator, super important for growth and development. Both are really important for emotional and physical health. And if you have issues with each, you can have infertility issues. And nutrition, we already talked about, is key generally for the endocrine system. If you are having issues with women's health, you really need to get your nutrition under control and consider supplementing. And hydrating as well. Remember, hydrating helps us flush out excess hormones in the body, because estrogen is what builds up the most, and there are many issues with that. So the first women's health essential oil that I would recommend for you is actually not in these slides, but it is in this blend. So it is geranium. My favorite is geranium. And just put this on Facebook and Instagram. It's known that even as you just smell it, it helps to release salivary estrogen from the body. Which is important if you are starting to lose estrogen when you are transitioning to menopause. But geranium is good in general for regulating hormonal health. So I just put a drop of geranium on the foot arches where there's a lot of important acupuncture points. And the feet are also a nice porous place where the body easily absorbs the essential oils. And I like adding a layer of castor oil on top, which is very invigorating for the blood, so helps with circulation. And Clary Calm has geranium in it, but clary sage is the main essential oil that is also very key for hormonal health. So So these oils, again, do not have estrogen. They don't contain any hormones. They are helping the body to balance itself. And sometimes when it's balancing, it may swing a bit. And I know I've given to Clary Calm to someone in the past, and she was like, that was too intense. This is too strong. I can't use it. And I tried to explain that the body may try to overcompensate when it's balancing. And I'm really not sure if she got back on it or not. She was a little standoffish about essential oils to begin with, so I don't think she did. But usually it's the other way around, where people think that essential oils don't work enough. So they do work very, very well. And especially when you're trying to balance your hormones, you should know that there is an adjustment period. So Clary Calm, you can, again, put it on the foot arches, like I just suggested with geranium, or you can put it directly on the abdomen or low back, sacrum, where the uterus is, and it'll absorb into the bloodstream and then also help that organ directly. So general hormone balancing, if you have heavy periods, if you have irregular periods. So in Chinese medicine, we believe that anything outside of 25 to 31 days is irregular. If you have issues with PMS, so mood swings, cramps, acne that comes with your period, hot flashes as you're moving toward menopause, and mood swings for just all these women's issues, Clary Calm can help with that. And for me, I experience PMS as neck tension. So I do start to get angry, but what I notice the most is tension in my neck and in my shoulders. And then I'll be mindful of it and go, oh yeah, I'm about to start my period soon, and start rubbing on the Clary Calm. And so I actually put it on the neck and shoulders too, and it does help with the pain. Rose is also a wonderful essential oil that you can use for women's health. So you can also use it like Clary Calm to relieve the physical symptoms of menstrual discomfort. It helps to regulate ovulation, but it has stronger emotional effects. So it is the queen. We call it the queen of essential oils. And it is queen at balancing your emotions. It boosts your libido. So low libido is a sign of hormonal imbalance, and it helps to promote confidence. So let us talk, before I talk about this phytoestrogen complex, I want to talk more about xenoestrogens and estrogen dominance. So I've been leading up to this very important subject because this is so important right now. So a xenoestrogen means that an estrogen that is made outside of the body. So it can include a phytoestrogen, which is a plant-made estrogen. So it just means other. But typically when we're talking about xenoestrogens, it means something that is artificial or foreign. So xenoestrogens are phthalates, parabens, BPA. These are endocrine disruptors found in plastics. Other xenoestrogens are fragrance. So we have had this talk, if you've been in any of my green cleaning classes or watch videos about that. Fragrance is very prevalent still in natural cleaning products. So even, I'm sorry, but it's in Mrs. Meyer's too. I know everyone loves their Mrs. Meyer's products. I've had so many people ask about that, and there is fragrance in that. So fragrance is a xenoestrogen. Pesticides, other household cleaners, beauty products, and then factory farmed animals. Of course, you know that there is an issue with added hormones because of the conditions that they're living in, and they're wanting to fatten them up too with hormones. That is absorbed into our body, So we're getting more of the nutrition with ingestion of animal proteins that are factory farmed. And then even from our tap water, with all the medications that end up in our water system, I'm pretty sure reverse osmosis will take out pharmaceuticals, but other filtration systems do not. So you may want to look into that, or just know that you are getting estrogens in your body and then work to eliminate them. And that could be done with a phytoestrogen. So the problem with xenoestrogens is that they bind to estrogen receptors in the body. So all these tissues that are needing estrogen, there's receptors on the outside of those tissues, like this little cup, that is ready for estrogen to sit on top. And the xenoestrogen, these fake estrogens, look like estrogen. They're not really estrogen, but they look like it, and they have similar function, but it's like steroidal, like over the top estrogen. So that ends up there. So it takes up all the receptors. So your body is filled with those instead of its true innate estrogen. And then we still have the estrogen that the body is producing, and it's free flowing. And that is when the liver becomes overwhelmed. If you have constipation, that is usually a sign of the liver being burdened. And there are other symptoms as well. Again, I don't want to get too deep, but just know that this happens. And so symptoms of estrogen dominance: prostate, and testicular cancer, because estrogen dominance can show up in men as well. Obesity, infertility, endometriosis, early puberty, miscarriages, and also type 2 diabetes. These are all related to estrogen dominance and a lot of xenoestrogens in the body. So phytoestrogens help to clean up the xenoestrogens from the body. So phytoestrogens occur normally in plants. The only ones I could think of off the top of my head right now are soy and yams. But soy is heavily processed usually, so you need to be careful and consume fermented organic soy to make sure it's not overly processed and that there's no pesticides, because it is a highly sprayed crop. And so you can just get more phytoestrogens through food, or you can be taking a supplement like this one. So this phytoestrogen complex, again, is a natural form of estrogen-like therapy. So maybe something that you want to consider if you don't want to do hormone replacement therapy, if you are transitioning to menopause and you want to try something natural. And it assists the body to balance, but isn't adding extra estrogen. So I am not super familiar with this product. There is a lot of hesitancy with people using phytoestrogens because there's just a lot of conflicting research out there. But if you are experiencing estrogen dominance and major symptoms with menopause, that is worse than what people say about phytoestrogen. So I would definitely give this supplement a try if you are having problems. Right now, I'm not really having issues severe where I feel like I need this. But I don't know. I may give it a try. So it contains genistein, which is a fermented soy. And it actually helps with healthy breast tissue and to regulate hormones in both men and women. Same with this bone nutrient complex. This is one that men and women can take, and this is one that I am actually going to try to give to my son. This is very important for growing bodies. So it has magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, and vitamin D in it, which are all important for growth and development, and continued support of the bone, so bone integrity and strength, and is great for, of course, those who are prone to osteoporosis, which many women are as they age. And that is related to sarcopenia too, which I mentioned about the muscle loss. We usually have the bone porosity issue as well. So for your pancreas, grapefruit, peppermint, and lemon would be good oils to use together to help the pancreas, as well as the Slim and Sassy blend, or you can take the soft gels, which is really just the blend in the capsule. So this helps to regulate insulin secretion and resistance, which happens when we have too much sugar in the body. Remember, we talked about high carb diets. That's when it tends to get out of control, and we have issues with insulin sensitivity or resistance and issues with your pancreas. And then for thyroid health. So I mentioned in the beginning that this was my major wellness journey, still is. I am in remission with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I can't remember when it came on. I think it's been close to 20 years now since I was first diagnosed. And I didn't have many of the classic symptoms of fatigue, like to the point where people can't get out of bed. So there is some overlap with adrenal fatigue. My major symptom was that I just had stubborn weight gain, and then I had an enlarged thyroid, my doctor felt. And so I went on thyroid replacement medication, levothyroxine. But then I started Chinese medicine school, and I was really conflicted because here I am studying to be this wellness practitioner steeped in natural medicine, and yet I was reliant on a pharmaceutical drug, which I knew was burdening my liver and was not addressing the root of the issue. So the drug is giving me the thyroid hormone, but it's ignoring the fact that my thyroid is not functioning well. So I worked really hard to dampen the inflammation that happens. So thyroiditis means that it's an inflammation of the thyroid. That's why it was enlarged. It is an autoimmune condition, and there's some belief that it's not really the body attacking itself, that maybe there is a latent virus there too that it is attacking, because the body is smart. It usually doesn't do things like that. It is very deliberate in its actions. But anyway, the root is that we need to, if there is an infection, remove that, but really support the thyroid in regaining its function. So that's where my energy went, learning how to do that. And then I slowly weaned off the medication. And the last time I got my blood tested, my thyroid peroxidase, which is the inflammatory marker, was non-detected. And my thyroid hormone was within normal range. So that was really exciting, although that was a couple of years ago. And I do think that it's time that I look at my, get a blood test again to make sure that I'm still on course. But regardless, supporting your thyroid is always good to do. So whether you have a condition or not, because it is a major organ with metabolism. And it also supports your liver, adrenals, as I just mentioned, your ovaries. So many people who have thyroid dysfunction have fertility issues. I did not have that problem either. Pancreas, yeah, my doctor suspected I had a metabolic issue, but it's not detected in a blood test. My blood sugar is fine. And pineal pituitary glands could have issues too. Again, not my issue. But these oils help to support those glands and the thyroid. So you would put about 10 drops of each of these in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, and then fill that up with fractionated coconut oil, and you could apply it directly to the thyroid about 3 times a day. So just a few more slides here. So the pineal gland and the pituitary glands, these are major glands in the body that direct the function of the other glands that secrete hormones. So it's important that they are supported. And frankincense is, I believe, the only, I know it's one of the few, but it may be the only essential oil that can cross the blood-brain barrier. So can affect these glands that are in the brain. So that is super important. So the pineal gland, that one is important for melatonin production, which helps to regulate circadian rhythm. So remember, it was cortisol that we need in the morning. We need melatonin at night to help us sleep. So both of them regulate your sleep cycle. And frankincense helps to support this gland, which then helps to regulate your rhythm. Serenity and copaiba are also good essential oils to help with that, as well as practices like meditation, which you all know I support, and sleeping in a very dark room with an eye mask if you need to. I am very, very sensitive to light and have been sleeping with an eye mask for the last few months, and it is very helpful. And then the pituitary gland basically controls everything. So again, frankincense, really good for that. And Immortelle has frankincense in it, and may be attractive for women because this is our anti-aging blend. And in addition to frankincense, it has rose in it, which we've already talked about, being very supportive for our emotions and hormonal health. It has myrrh. It has a few other that are on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot think of right now. But it's a very precious oil. And I'm going to talk a bit more about this because we have a special this month in doTERRA where you could get Immortelle for free. So this is just a review of everything we just talked about. So those of you watching on Facebook, in the event, I put up a PDF that's in my Google Drive that has this in it. So you can print this out to keep or just download for yourself. And those of you who are watching on Zoom, I'm going to be sending this to you after the presentation later tonight or maybe tomorrow. So again, this is just reviewing everything we already talked about in a master slide here. And those of you who are already customers, if you are interested in the bone nutrient complex and phytoestrogen complex, they do come together with the Clary Calm in what is called the Women's Health Kit. So you can get this in your doTERRA shopping cart. What is awesome about doTERRA is that they have a loyalty rewards program. It is optional, but if you are taking supplements, which you would need to take monthly, they have this monthly subscription plan where you can get these supplements and oils at a discount. So in these kits, so this is an LRP kit, we call it. So you get bulk savings by buying this kit. And then with the LRP program in itself, when you are ordering more than 50 PV per month, you can be earning up to 10 to 30% back on your orders. And that goes up with 3 months consecutively of ordering 50 PV. So it'll go up from 10 to 15% And every 3 months, it'll go up 5% until you max out at 30. But that is huge, because that means if you're placing a 100 PV order each month, you're basically getting $30 back that you can apply to future orders. So you're getting discounts on top of discounts. And also a part of the loyalty reward program is that if you have an order over 125 PV, then you are eligible for the free product of the month. So if you're already a customer, consider LRP. That is the loyalty rewards program ordering. Otherwise, you can continue to do your standard ordering. But again, this just makes it easier for you and helps you to save. And so the rose is not part of this kit. It's just, I did not make this slide, but this was smart. The person who made it knows that rose is really important. So just added this in, and then this gets you over the 125 PV. And I didn't mention yet, that would need to be before the 15th of the month in order to get the free product of the month. So that would need to be done today, which is the 15th. Otherwise, you would miss out on that. But this is for established customers. If you are not a customer already, there's a few ways you can start with doTERRA. It's best to be a wholesale customer because you get 25% off of retail for the whole year. So it makes sense that if you want more than 2 products in the year, that you become a wholesale customer. And you can start your membership in one of 2 ways. You can pay the $35 starter fee and then just add a la carte oils. So maybe it's the $35 fee. And if you wanted to try the Clary Calm and something else, you could add that on as your enrollment order to start as a wholesale customer. Or you can start with an enrollment kit. And we have several. And these enrollment kits are bundles where you get bulk savings, but that $35 starter fee is waived. So you get an even greater discount with starting. So this is the one that I am suggesting if you are interested in boosting your nutrition with the LLV, the Lifelong Vitality Pack. That's part of this Healthy Habits Kit. It also has frankincense, which we know is important for cellular health. A few other relaxing oils, which will help with your adrenal health. Lemon to help with the liver. And then Terrazyme and PB Assist, which also help with digestion. On Guard is our protective immune support blend. And then the Deep Blue Rub is awesome for pain. So if you have any tension with your cycle or just pain from other things that you're experiencing in your life, this would be a very good kit to start with. There are smaller and bigger kits, you should know. I just thought that this was most applicable for this subject. And then for June, you should know that for this month only, if you buy a kit or have an order that's over 100 PV, so PV is the product value, then you will get a free Citrus Bliss. And I would need to give you the promo code to get that. So you'll need to go through me. And then if your order is over 200 PV, you will get that Immortelle blend for free. And this is if you're an established customer as well. So if you have an order this month over 200 PV, whether it's an LRP order or a regular standard order, you will get Immortelle for free. So if you are wanting to enroll this month, let's talk. You can write down my phone number here and text me or email or Facebook message. I'm pretty available in all those places. So one more thing here, and I'm just going to breeze through this. There is this system called Symphony of the Cells, which is actually a technique. And this is one that I turn to quite a lot in my acupuncture practice, because I always incorporate massage with my practice. And this is something I do with myself at home and with my son when he's sick. So basically it's an oil application. And this book has these different protocols depending on what you're working with. So I've been working with a lymphatic protocol to help with weight loss, and I had this issue of a clogged ear, and it really helped clear that up. Even the related tinnitus that I had with it is barely there. So I'm keeping up with that protocol. But there is a hormonal balance protocol as well. So this is with frankincense, thyme, ginger, clary sage, grapefruit, Roman chamomile, ylang ylang, lavender, and Siberian fir. And basically, you just load up the back with fractionated coconut oil, and then one at a time, put the oils on the spine, and then rub it over the whole back. There is a more deliberate technique in the Symphony of the Cells book, but it's most important to just get the oils on your body. So if you want more information, I can give you that. So that is all I want to talk about today with women's health. I will answer questions right now, any that you have. And I did warn you that this was going to be a long presentation. And I am going to stick around even after this Q&A period to talk briefly about the business. So if that's something you're interested in, then stay on. But for now, we're going to stop sharing. And I'm going to look at the chat here first. Hello, Patricia. Are you still on? So you're asking, do you recommend cleaning the liver prior to supporting it with supplements? Hi, Patricia. I haven't thought about that. You're right in that anything that we ingest is going to be adding to the liver's load. So I would first be removing anything that can cause it harm. So removing all the xenoestrogens that you may come in contact with, removing plastics, pharmaceuticals, if you can wean off of any, cleaning up your diet, organic diet if possible. And this is so frustrating that we've been talking about social injustice a lot lately, and about how unfair conditions are in this country. This is my work, and something I need to figure out is how people who don't have access can become more healthy, because our food is so horrible here in the United States that this is the reason why many people who are impoverished have poor health conditions. Anyway, so I would remove all of that first. And then, yes, I think I would support the liver first with Zendocrine. So I realize that is a supplement. It is oils. And again, anything the liver comes in contact with, it does need to process. But it is helping support the liver at the same time. It's helping it with that function. So I would do that second. So removing and then supporting the liver. And then, yes, adding in the micronutrients and other support with that. So does that answer your question? So she says, I've cleaned my home of toxic chemicals, meats, plastics too. Awesome. I do have to stay on asthma medication. You do what you have to do. I totally understand. And I'm not your doctor, of course. But those who have been reduced, thanks to oily supports. Yes. So oils can always help. They can always help. And, even when I was on my thyroid medication and in Chinese medicine school, it was the guilt that made me get off of it. And I'm glad it did get to me. But I would have made a lot of progress with just the acupuncture too. And then, once I started using doTERRA oils, that would have added on to it as well, supporting my liver. But it certainly helps if you can remove what you can of the things that can harm your hormonal balance. Thank you. Yes, TCM is wonderful. So anyone else on Zoom have questions? So I have to get on Facebook now to see. Hopefully my video's on here. Hopefully this is streaming. I am not seeing it for some reason. Oh, there we are. Okay. Debbie. Debbie, am I doing what daily? I'm not sure when you...
Hopefully my video's on here.
Okay, so Debbie asks, are you still doing this daily? I'm wondering if you were asking about the thyroid blend. I do have an issue with doing things consistently, especially when there's a lot of things you can do. That is my problem, is that I am steeped in all these wellness tools. Yes, the thyroid regimen. I do it when I can. And no, I have not been doing it regularly. If I still had an issue, then yes. But I think part of me knows that I'm in remission and it's not as important, so I let myself off. But certainly the thyroid always needs to be supported. And this is my propensity. I mean, we all have a propensity toward imbalance in some way. And this is where mine is. That's my work. So thank you for asking that, because I do have this blend made up, and I will use it tonight. And again, I do need to get a blood test to make sure I stay on top of that, because who knows, I could not be in remission right now. Thank you for asking, Debbie. Anyone else on Facebook have any questions? All right. So, okay, Patricia, I keep my nighttime supports by my bed and my morning supports in the kitchen. Great. I have a hard time with consistency too. Yes. Also, question on the location for hormonal support. Is it okay to apply to the ankles as well as the feet? Yes, that's where I like to put Clary Calm. So, and geranium. So on the arches of the feet, and then I actually go up to the inner ankle. And I know I showed this to you last month. I always forget the subjects I did before. I don't remember what we were talking about in that last class, but I was showing you where kidney 3 is, the kidney 3 point, which is really important for women's health. So yes, all along the arch and the around the ankle and the inner heel in line with the ankle. So yes, and I usually do that at night. So yeah, when you have essential oils, when you're really using them in your routine, you will find that you have oils everywhere. So I have a station by my meditation altar, and that's usually where I put on the geranium at night. That's where I do the Symphony of the Cells treatment on myself. I usually do that at night, and those nights I do it, I sleep really well. There's oils in my son's room. There's oils in both bathrooms. I have a station in the kitchen, and I have some in the refrigerator as well. And then I have some in my backpack and in the car. So you think that would help me with consistency? Patricia says, yes, perfect. Thank you for reminding us. LOL, mine are everywhere too. It's a good thing. What are you using to support sleep? Also an issue for me. So I do respond very well to Serenity, and I just put that behind the ears here. Again, just because I know acupuncture, I usually think of acupuncture points, and there is a major one called On Mien behind the ear here that is important for sleep. Putting it on the forehead, around the temples, soles of the feet is really good. Sometimes I'm very aware that it's tension in the body that is keeping me awake. So oftentimes I'll just do some gentle yoga postures. Oftentimes it's a forward bend I need to do to stretch the back body, and that helps to relieve the muscles that might be pinching around the nerves, which might be affecting your sleep. But also using Aroma Touch, which is the massage essential oil blend. Sometimes I put that on my body. If I know that I'm holding on to tension in my shoulders and neck especially, then that will affect my sleep. So sometimes I lather up with that instead of Serenity and instead of doing a yoga practice. Any other questions? So Debbie says, thank you, you're welcome on Facebook. Any others? Otherwise, thank you. If this is all you're interested in, please feel free to hop off. I am going to continue with a brief part of the business of doTERRA. This is also just scratching the surface, but just wanted to give you more information for those who are interested, because this can really support you right now if you are needing financial support as well. And I was very thankful to have, I am very thankful, because this is still happening, that in my wellness business, my acupuncture practice is, it was in the toilet. I had one client who felt safe with me coming to her house because I have an out-call acupuncture practice. So I had a different problem than what other acupuncturists had with needing to close their practice. I stayed open because I didn't have people coming into a shared space. But my clients didn't feel comfortable with me coming to their house with the shelter in place, which is totally, totally fine. But there was one who did, so I'm so grateful for her. And then yoga, I just have one online class that I'm doing. Other than that, it's been just doTERRA. So I have really amped up my teaching. I'm going to be doing at least 3 classes a month now. So I was just doing this themed class in the Facebook group. I'm now going to be doing a basics class in there and then an extensive business class. So again, this is just a taste, and we'll do an extended business one in July. So let me go back to sharing my screen here. Okay, present, remove myself. Okay. So basically, when we are doing the business of doTERRA, we're using the oils, sharing with others, and then teaching about it. It's as simple as that. And there are 3 ways that you can share doTERRA essential oils with others. You can be part of my referral partnership. So you might be just fine being a customer, but you say you have a friend or a family member who could really use the oils, but you don't want to be as involved with giving them samples or education, then you can simply give them my information. As they connect with me, I might give them samples and we'll set them up to meet either one-on-one with me or joining one of these classes. And then as they enroll, I will give you a free gift. So it's usually a percentage of what I make, and we can talk about what that is. Or you can get paid by doTERRA directly. And so you would upgrade from a wholesale customer to a wellness advocate in order to get paid by doTERRA. And it's as simple as putting in your social security number when prompted to on the website. So as you log into the website and you're a wholesale customer, I don't know exactly where it is, but there's a place where it says upgrade to wellness advocate and you click that and then it asks for your social security number. It is very secure, and they have that because they need that information to pay you. But anyway, so you can enroll your friends and family members yourself to make extra income. Or you can actually build a team to make residual income. So this is an investment over time. All this hard work I'm putting in now is going to be paying off tremendously. It's not a get rich quick scheme at all. You are paid by how many people you help. And this is all about service. So if that is something that interests you, then stay on here. So it can be as small as 3 to 5 hours a week if you just want to pay for your product. So there's ranks with as a wellness advocate, and you're paid by rank. And I won't get into the details of the payment. This will be in the detailed presentation I'll give in July. But this is an average of what people make when they're consistently hitting these ranks. So with Elite, it's about $300 a month, and Premier about $700 a month. And I will be honest with you, so my rank is Premier. And I am not a solid Premier, so I'm not hitting this rank every month. So I'm not making this much yet, but it's pretty close. So I am pretty close to being solid Premier and well on my way to Silver, which I'm hiding here. There's Silver, which you can see is quite a jump in income. So this is why I am kicking it into high gear. So you can get to these levels, again, just with 5 hours a week, just personally enrolling a few people a month. You can put in more time helping more people, and you can build up to gold or platinum, which doubles even more. So it is doubling. It's exponential growth at this point. And that was supplementing your income, so may still not be enough where you can live off of it completely. But in these higher ranks, you can. But this is a full-time job. You're enrolling more than 8 customers a month, enrolling 2 builders, and that means that you are enrolling people who are doing the business just like you, and helping them by giving presentations like this, and actually helping them with personal development and connecting them with resources. So this is how it used to work when we had in-person classes, that one way you could share was for me to host a class for you in your home. And online was always an option, but right now it's the only option unless your area is more open and I am able to travel. But basically, when you are presenting to someone, you would start by giving your friend a sample. So maybe if they're complaining about sleep, like we were just talking about, if you're carrying samples with you, which is a good idea, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, then you could just go, hey, have you tried essential oils? They really help me for sleep. And you can give them a sample and say, let me know how this goes. I'd love to connect with you in a few days. And it's as simple as that. And then if they have a good experience, you invite them to a class. If you are doing this online, and I'm actively reaching out to people right now, asking them if they need help with any wellness issues, and they're not local, then I will mail them samples. So that's an option too. And then again, once they've had a good experience, then you invite them to a class. But sampling isn't always required. Some people want to buy without sampling. And then preparing for class, I'm not going to go into this too much. And they say that Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are the best for hosting a class. Here I'm doing one on a Monday. I'm not paying attention to that. I've had classes on the weekend that were very successful, so I'm not sure that this is really true. But it's always a good idea to sample when you can. So if I were to teach a class for you, if you're inviting a lot of people, it would be a good idea for you to sample them with Deep Blue or Serenity or something that is very effective and that most people need, so that when they come to the class, they've already had an experience and they will be more open to trying doTERRA and signing up as a wholesale customer. So of course, not everyone shows up who says that they're interested. So it's always good to invite more people and expect 2/3 or a half to show up, because not everyone will attend. And there is a system, a building system in doTERRA called the daily mentor calls that many of us do that help you with the training of the business. So if you want to be involved with that, you can. But if I am teaching the class for you, that's not totally necessary for you to get educated on that. And then to remind them of the class 2 days before and then a couple hours before to make sure that they attend. So what I like giving hostesses or hosts is a sample. We call this a keychain, but I don't have mine on my keys. So I have one of these lavender ones, and I have many of these black ones. And I just bought these super cute circular multicolored ones, but they fit 8 sample vials. So you would get this as a host, and then however many people show up for the class, I will give you that many sample vials filled. Not completely. Many, many, many drops of essential oils in it, because they are pretty large. So you get to pick your assortment of oils from my extensive collection. So that's what I give hostesses. And then depending on how much they buy, then again, like I mentioned before, you would get a percentage of that I either pay you in product or you get paid directly from doTERRA. And then more about hosting your own class. Again, this is not really applicable right now because these are things that we experience in person where you still want to limit distractions, but we don't have the pleasure of diffusing the oils or applying them on each other or serving refreshments. But when we open up, that will be an option that I hope to get back into, where I can actually come to your home or we can meet somewhere to share oils with your friends. And then it is as simple as, again, just giving them oils. Tell them about the 3 cool things about essential oils, that they're safe, effective, and affordable. The 3 ways to use them, which is aromatic, topical, and internal. Show them the kits. That is it. They decide if they want to buy or not. They choose their kits. And then we plug them into this continuing education. I have a newsletter where I continue to educate my customers, and you can choose, or your customers, your friends can choose to be a part of that process as well. And again, I could be teaching this or you can be teaching it, whatever you are comfortable with. So if this is something you are interested in, if you're already a customer of mine, let me know and we can get a class on the books. If you are not enrolled yet, text me and we can talk about that. And if you want to do both, you can certainly do both. Sign up as a wholesale customer, start using your oils, get a class on the calendar, and then decide if you want to upgrade to a wellness advocate or not. So this is Elise. Her team made these slides, and it's her system that I have been using that is pretty effective. And she actually has these oil games for builders to move up in the ranks, but she is working on oil games for customers. So this will help you to use oils in your life. So help with supporting your wellness lifestyle. So when that is ready, I'll be sharing that with everyone. So I'll leave you with this quote from one of the founders of doTERRA, that when you share doTERRA products, you bring hope and wellness to the people you love, your community, and ultimately the world. Selling the doTERRA way is about service. One drop at a time and one person at a time, we are serving the world with wellness solutions. You know, this is something I am extremely passionate about. This is a huge gap that we have right now in this country, and it will support us on a systemic, collective level. So I really believe that, and if this is something you want to be part of, let me know. So again, let me get out of here and stop share. So next month, I don't have the date pinned down, but it'll be in the first or second week. I'm going to be doing a Business Made Easy class that will go more into detail with building a business with doTERRA, the reasons you would want to do so to build residual income, and more about doTERRA, why they are such an awesome company. I will say that they are a very heart-centered company steeped in philanthropy and really have their finger on the pulse of what the community really, really needs right now. And many of us wellness practitioners are aligned with them because it is so important. So with that, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let me know if you have any questions here. I'll look one more time to see if anyone here on Zoom has questions about this business aspect. And I'll look. Oh, hey, Alicia. Yeah, I'm glad you made it. Alicia says it's been 5 years of sharing here and there, but it's been so worth it. Finally putting in full-time hours has been so life-changing. I agree. And I was telling everyone in the beginning of this, I don't know if you caught that, Alicia, that I am putting my pedal to the metal right now with doTERRA because it's my business right now. Like acupuncture and yoga I'm not able to do so much. I'm so happy that I have this as another way to support people in their wellness journey. And I love it even more because though I love being a yoga teacher and an acupuncturist, I am uneasy with people depending on me too much. And I am very vocal about this when I do start seeing people, that this is a shared responsibility, that it is a partnership. And ideally, they are learning how to help themselves. And that is what doTERRA is all about. And so when I stopped seeing my clients, yes, I was missing them and I was missing the income, certainly. I knew that they still had support at home. So I wasn't worried about that. And that puts my heart at ease. Yeah, Alicia says, I miss in-person classes so much. Me too. I need that personal connection. This is great that we could do this as well. Social media definitely has a place. And yeah, we have a lot of momentum in doTERRA and just in the wellness community, period, I believe. All right. So I am going to say goodbye to you all now. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the evening, great week, and I hope to connect with you soon. Goodbye.